Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you got the previous one and it disconnected, it is streaming issues. So hopefully this one goes well. It's Ronsley, and I'm doing another live on how to use AI. It's called Amplify AI, how to use it in your business, how to use it to grow and get your business goals, revenue, credibility, operations, how to do all of that, how to grow brand, how to grow audience, and how to use AI in while augmenting human intelligence. All right, let me show you what's coming up on the show. So today we've got a couple of things I want to cover, and I'm gonna hope that I get through this by in half an hour. Well, 20 minutes is the goal, but the last few lives have gone to about half an hour and slightly more. So I'm going to try and wrap a lot of this thing up quicker so I can get into the tactic, because today's tactic is really cool. Today we're going to learn how to customize sales conversations using artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about how your audience plus the product that you're selling, the use case of that product, those equal different types of cohorts, and I'll explain what that means. And we'll also talk about how higher conversion, how to get higher conversions, how a triage, which we spoke about in the last live. So if you haven't caught that on any of the socials, I'm pretty sure you can go and find the previous episodes if that's what you're after. But we spoke about triage. So how the triage plus the cohort that we speak about here equals higher conversion, and how we can do that at speed using AI. I've got a bunch of steps that I will share with you. But we're going to talk about the technique of triage today. I'm going to go into some detail because the triage part is important when you're doing sales conversations. But I have some news, in the sense that if you haven't seen already Sora, which is just insane. I'm going to talk about that. It is text to video, and it's just going to give you an idea of what's possible, especially for you business owners, business leaders, what's coming. I'm going to talk about how to personalize your ChatGPT, how to use it properly, how to use it, how to use it with all the different customizations that are possible, and talk about some ethical conversations around artificial intelligence. Okay, so there's a few things on, and this, I'll hopefully, if we get time, I'll cover that. But let's just talk about some of the news, and I'll talk about personalizing ChatGPT really quickly, and then let's get into the tactic, which is how to customize sales conversations using AI. All right, so let me share my screen and show you this. So if you haven't, this has been in the news for a while, but for those who haven't seen it and kind of wrap their head around what is possible with Sora, go to openai.com/Sora. It is one of a kind in terms of what is possible. So the idea is you're creating video from text, right? It is basically how we've been doing, from prompts to more text output, and then we went from prompts to images. Now we're going prompts to video, and I want to show you a prompt here that is like, if you're a tech geek like myself and have been following AI for a while, you've seen this video on the Twitters or the AI spaces, and it's basically a prompt that is a stylish woman walking down a Tokyo street filled with warm glowing neon and animated scene signage. She wears a black leather jacket, a long red dress, and black boots. So and it's the prompt which gives you this amazing AI generation. Now, there are a few here that you should definitely go check out. So openai.com/Sora. This is another great shot. Now I want to put this in perspective, and I want you to think about this as a small business owner, or as a business owner, or even a small medium-sized business owner. There used to be a time when, to capture something like this and get this kind of footage, there was a lot involved in terms of getting a drone or getting something to go out there. Even drones are quite recent, and you think about how recent droning is. But if you see right now with the technology that we have, for someone to get good footage like this, if it's just a prompt away, including, so that's quite realistic, right? But this one is of a non-realistic. It's an animated scene, which is quite amazing. There's a lot of really cool things to check out in here. So if you're really interested, just look into Sora, because it's pretty powerful in terms of what it can do. There's also this really cool. I wonder whether I can find it. There was this really cool news story about let me see if I can find it here. But there was a really great news story about how this company was using artificial intelligence to give their whole team 4-day work weeks. So and my new book, Amplify AI, is all about that. How do we use human intelligence to augment that human intelligence with artificial intelligence to create more human being versus human doing, right? So let's use it to our advantage. So this company is, I mean, it's in the UK, and I wish I can find it. I hope I can find it. I'm just sort of trying to see with all my I try to store everything in one spot so it's easy to. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, cool. So have a look. This is a London startup that works 4 days a week thanks to AI. And if you're interested, and you're watching this and you want the link, please let me know. Obviously, you can just copy the link from here, or you can just search it yourself. Oh, I've even taken notes. So it's really interesting. I mean, this is obviously something that we've always wanted, right? We've always wanted a work-life balance, and now we can have it. But there are some of us that are looking at AI and going, okay, let me cut my team, or let me not use it at all. They're going extreme, and I'm saying there's this really cool middle ground that we can totally use. So your children are going to live to 100, and they'll probably be working 3.5 days a week, which is kind of cool, right? You've got half day work week, half week work week, which is kind of interesting. So this company has done some really cool things, right? So the main idea here is that in general, companies have found to benefit from artificial intelligence, but they're considering, that. But this company here has actually, TechNet, a London-based network of technology CEOs and senior executives that promoted the growth of innovation economy, adopted AI technologies in 2020, and became one of the first London startups to offer a flexible 4-day work week, which is amazing. I think they should be similar ideas out there for us business owners, because we can actually offer our team, our people who can do really good work, reduce their cognitive load using artificial intelligence, and get them to actually use AI in a good way. All right, enough of that. That's the news. Let's just get into ChatGPT and personalizing ChatGPT, because I think a lot of us are using it we're all using ChatGPT. There used to be a time that in the airport, you'd go and you'd see Facebook open, and then people had laptops open, right? Or you see Facebook open, and then Instagram became a thing. But now you see in airports, because I travel a lot, obviously, you see like lots of chat GPTs open. But so we know we're using it. So what I want to show you is this really customized chat GPT option here, which is really how you should be using chat GPT. Don't worry about this. This is a GPT that I built. Again, if you want access to this, it's free. It'll sort of help you learn anything. If you want to run, if you want to do a podcast, you want to learn how to do webinars, sales, anything, it'll break down the skill and it'll give you the exact steps for you to learn it. And if you want this, it's free. Just send me a message or something. I'll send you the link to this. But I'm talking about ChatGPT in general. So when you come to chat.openai.com and you come to ChatGPT, if I say, what is in the news? So ChatGPT is kind of limited in a lot of ways, in the sense that it is a large language model, which obviously it actually did not look up it didn't do any of that in the background, which usually it should do. So, all these kind of things need to be checked for. It should be checked for accuracy. Now, notice that it's given me headlines, but then it's come here and it said, given your interest in leveraging AI and podcasting for global problem solving, these developments could provide a rich backdrop for discussions on how technology can be used to foster understanding and propose solutions to such complex issues. So how does ChatGPT even know, right? This is ChatGPT 4, but how does it even know that, okay, it's put my personalization into context of what it's given me. Now, it's also given me 3 different questions that I could ask it. How can AI and podcasting platforms be utilized to amplify voices from conflict zones like Gaza, promoting a deeper understanding of the humanitarian impacts involved? So it's used the output of the question, the prompt I've asked it, and then it's gone detailed into using me as customization to ask me follow-up questions. I'm going to show you how to do that for your ChatGPT. So if you go to down the bottom here, I don't think you can see that in the screen, so I'm going to move that a little bit like that. Hopefully you can see that. So down here where you have your name, wherever that is. Can you actually see my screen? I hope so. Okay. Thank you. So if you go down here and you click on that, you come to customize ChatGPT and you'll come to custom instructions. Now there are 2 important blocks here. The first block, I mean, it's really important, obviously, that you read what this is. So the first one is what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? Now I'm giving it a lot of context. I'm telling it exactly what my focus is, who I am, what my current projects are, what my interests are, values and principles, what my goals are, what is my communication style. And I've given it instructions for it to better understand who I am. Okay, and the second box here is how I would like ChatGPT to respond. So I always wanted to obviously address me as Ronsley and always include 2 to 3 potential follow-up questions in every response. So I'm asking it, I'm kind of pre-programming it to like be smart for me rather than me think of what the next questions are and potentially not even think the way it can think. It'll give me a different perspective on what I can potentially ask. And those 3 questions that it gives you is not something that you like. It's totally cool, but it gives you a different perspective. But I'm also saying, you know what? I want you to follow these instructions. I want you to have this kind of response format, this tone, this level of detail. I want you to give these kind of suggestions. I want you to ask these types of questions. I need you to make sure that whatever you're suggesting is small business friendly and adheres to ethical standards. Like I am very specific about exactly what I'm after, and how I wanted to think, how I wanted to problem solve. I wanted to be aware of bias because we know that AI is biased in a lot of ways depending on the data it's trained on. So I'm counteracting that, and you can counteract that too if you customize ChatGPT this way. So that's how it kind of knows who I am. This is just my normal ChatGPT. I'm pretty sure it'll work for GPT 3.5 as well. So you should have what's in the news. I don't know whether that. Oh, that's interesting. Help me brainstorm webinar topics. And I wonder whether it knows. So ChatGPT, even 3.5, you can use custom instructions because now, even if I give it something so random and so generic as help me brainstorm webinar topics, it has used my custom instructions to be very specific on the webinar topics that I can cover. All right, so that is really how to customize and personalize ChatGPT. I have a plan basically for how I wanted this session to go. So if you want the edited versions of this, because we've got over 75 of those, recorded, you can go to Amplify AI. That's what it looks like. You'll find edited ones. This is episode 55, and I had a great conversation in Dubai with Leo, and we talk about the ethical considerations about artificial intelligence, especially for business. And I think we should all be aware of this. But the reason I brought you here is I have these custom instructions. Like, these are the prompts for you to add into the top field and the bottom field in ChatGPT. And if you want it, again, just DM me and I'll give you these so that you can just, fill in your own bits in here and customize your ChatGPT. But today's session, which we have about 15 minutes to finish, maybe less, is talking about customizing sales conversations. So the idea here is how to customize your sales conversations using artificial intelligence. Now, at no point here am I suggesting that these sales conversations should happen only by an artificial intelligent being, right? This is a sales conversation for a human being to use AI to better customize the conversation that they're having with the person. Okay, so the idea is to go from ad hoc sales to very streamlined sales conversations, but customizable, streamlined conversations. So let me show you this chat, right? So this is 58 lines from my book, which has just come back from the editors, which are with a lot of things for me to change. But what I asked it is, here's some context for customizing sales conversations. When you understand it, please let me know. So what it did was it kind of broke down from the book what I thought was the best way to customize sales conversations, which is very deeply thought of using a lot of research, including papers and in field, seeing how this works best. It kind of gave me this understanding. So basically what I'm trying to ask it is, how long would customizing sales conversations take if we had to follow these exact steps, which I'm talking about, but did not use AI? Think this through step by step and give me your reasoning. So it's broken down the different ones, which is the steps are defining your customer cohorts. I'll talk about that. It's something I learned from VaynerMedia and the Sasha group, by the way, when I was in New York last year, is this idea of cohorts. And I'll tell you what that means. Research each cohort thoroughly is the second step. Develop customized value propositions. Now, all this can be done at speed, right? And we'll do it right now. Create sales scripts for each of them. Align them with your marketing. All the it's given me the steps. So I'm like, what if we had used a minimalist approach, right? Now, what it says here, it would take anywhere from 6 months to a year. I'm like, well, no, that's a long time. What if we use the minimalist approach? What would be the simplest and easiest way to do this process to achieve the same results without AI? All right, minimalist approach, it broke it down. It made it 5 steps instead of 7. And it went, all right, 1 to 2 weeks, maybe about a few weeks to a month. Okay, fine. This is good. What are the typical costs involved for a company to perform this? Consider the company has 5 to 8 full-time employees. So I'm kind of doing like an average of, what people have. Obviously, there's a lot of us that have way more than 8 employees, but full-time employees. But in general, I think it gives you a rough idea of if you're below that or above that, how this would sort of take, how long it would take. So it broke it down and it gave me an understanding of how long it would take. So the total upfront cost would be about between $3,000 to $8,000 with an ongoing cost for monitoring. Okay, so I was like, okay, great. Now, so how can I find a way to remove this cost is my plan. Okay, how can we today, using artificial intelligence, do that at speed? So I'm like, okay, now that you're aware of the process, what are the advantages for a company to perform this project? What are the costs of not doing it? And what are the regular FAQs about this? Now, this is also really what I'm trying to show you here in this conversation that I did up and down with Claude AI is how you would customize your conversations. Because right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to reverse engineer what how someone would see this, so you can use the same thing. Well, okay, so for the advantages of a company to perform this project is, you get increased conversion rates. So if you if you do the customization of sales conversations, and we customize it in a way that streamlines it and gets you the proper sales, then you get increased conversion rates, improved customer experience, competitive advantage, more efficient sales process, better alignment between sales and marketing, of course. And if you don't do it, there's all these reasons for not doing it. But if you customize it, there's few questions that might come up. How would I identify the right customer segments? Well, it tells you that. And we're going to go through that and show you how to do that, really. And that's the idea here, that some of the things that would take months to do, or weeks to do, or days to do, can be done in seconds right now. So then it gave me that. And then I asked it, well, what are the ways to justify the costs, time, and effort of doing this process? Quantify the best you can the cost, the time, and effort saving over the year to execute this process. Think this through step by step, and give me your reasoning, please. And if you don't know what this line is, in one of the first episodes, I covered chain of thought prompting. So go check that out. Again, you'll find all the edited versions of this on the podcast. But it then gave me how to justify costs. It broke down the cost, and then what would the effort and costs, time, and effort of doing this whole situation. So step one, estimate the potential revenue increase, and then it calculated the potential increase in revenue, and then it estimated the time saved by sales reps, calculated the cost. So think of this for whatever business you're in. How can you use similar prompting to get these really valuable ways of talking? So right now, the way I'm trying to convince you is that customizing your sales conversations right now using AI is going to be massively beneficial. So I'm just kind of showing you what's possible. All right. So one of the ways to do that is to define your audience into customer cohorts. What I mean by that is, I'll give you an example, right? So right now I have, for example, a coaching program for business owners and leaders who want to use artificial intelligence in their business. I mean, if someone's willing to sort of really learn the right way from someone who has done it before and can, like myself, can program in 21 different languages and has been an entrepreneur for a whole bunch of years, then I can be very specific and very to the point, and I can say, okay, there are two types of people potentially as my customer cohort. They're either business owners or they're business leaders. Business leaders are people that are in the business that can empower their teams to adopt AI, and they can do it themselves, and that empowerment is really helpful in terms of what my plan is, or my passion is, and my focus is around artificial intelligence. And the other one is for business owners who are very autonomous in what they can do, in the sense that if they believe that this is something that they can implement, they can have better impact, they can augment human intelligence with artificial intelligence, then those are my people, right? They can not only empower themselves to learn, but they can empower their teams and the people they come across to learn. So for me, there are two segments. So for you, define what your segments are. Even though my audience are, this business leader sort of circle, and even though my focus is on delivering the same result, there are two different types of cohorts. So I've given you some ideas here, and again, if you want these, please DM me and I'll send you all these notes. I'm very happy to do that, or you can just read and copy them off the screen. It's totally fine. So first, you define your customer cohorts, and I've given you some ideas on how to think about that, and I've given you an example as well. All right, so let's not go too much into that. The next is then you sort of research each cohort thoroughly, right? What are the pain points for the business leaders? What are the pain points for the business owners? What are their fears? What are their values? What are their benefits? What are their aspirations? And they'll all be different, even though the outcome is the same, and you can kind of put them in the same bracket. So then you research each of them. Then you kind of go, okay, well, now this person these are the things that they care about, right? You have that, and then you have this cohort are these things. And again, what I'm trying to say is you can do all this stuff at speed, and I'll show you because how to do a really cool audience analysis right now before we wind this up. But let me finish the steps, right? So then you develop value customer proposition. So right now, I wouldn't go more than 2 or 3 cohorts. Like I would make it as simple as possible. And then you would have, specific sales scripts, again, which you can totally do using artificial intelligence in a really personalized manner, because I showed you today how to personalize, your ChatGPT. I don't know if you can see this properly. Probably not. Let me move this. Okay. So then you create the sales scripts very specific for each one of them. Now there are 2 types of audiences or cohorts that you are dealing with, and now you can create marketing along the similar lines, so that you're aligning your marketing and your content to your sales, and you're customizing it all the way through. And then depending on who your salespeople are, whether it's your salespeople are your landing pages, and you do a launch, or it's a salesperson doing a conversation, or it is you doing the sales conversations, then understanding how to do this. And you can also use AI to role play this whole situation. You can create your own artificial intelligence sales trainer that will help you train yourself on how to do this best for your people, and obviously to gather feedback and make sure that it's not just the one way, and you're refining it with every step. But before we go, I have a bunch of prompts that obviously I give some of my clients, but there's a really nice one here on audience Y stack. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that in ChatGPT. So hopefully you can still see my screen, and everything is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ChatGPT 4 and in just a normal plain ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, I want you to brainstorm with me my audience, and I'm going to give you some specific things that I want you to brainstorm with me, and I'm going to tell you who I am and what I do. So use this as your analysis. I run coaching and training community for business owners and leaders to use AI ethically to grow revenue, brand, audience, and operations. Yeah, so I'm just giving it that text, and I'm going to say, well, analyze my audience. Obviously, you can copy this prompt. Again, if you need any of these resources, send me a DM. Super happy to share it. But see how it's being specific, okay? And how it's giving me, considering what this is, these are my audiences. These are 5 of their pain points. The technology integration, they're struggling to seamlessly integrate AI technologies into existing business operations, which I see all the time, by the way. They're not really, they don't really understand or are thinking about the ethical considerations, or maybe they're worried about the ethical considerations and don't want to get into artificial intelligence, which is also at least 30% of the people that I meet that I help to integrate AI into their business. Obviously, cost, skill gaps, resistance to change are their big pain points. These are the 5 fears. They're worried about, damaging the reputation, losing money, depending on technology, security breaches, misalignment with human values, massive fears. And you see how it's done it so quickly, but it's done it with context because I've kind of given it that, right? These are their beliefs. There's this potential for AI. They believe that there's a ethical responsibility. There's a need to adapt. They believe it's important to have human oversight, and they believe that collaboration over competition is something that is important. Now you see how it's tailored this right to who I am and who my people are. And I don't disagree with anything that's come out here, by the way. And these are their values. So they value innovation, integrity, respect for privacy, sustainability, and inclusivity. They aspire to lead the industry change. They aspire to global impact. They aspire to operational excellence. And I'm talking about global impact, and some of us might think that, oh, I'm not looking at global impact, but these are the same people who would say, I want to change 1 million lives over the next 10 years or whatever, or 1 billion, or something that is just ridiculously big that a lot of us can't go after. But of course we want to make that impact. They aspire to operational excellence. They aspire to innovative culture and community building. What they wish they could do after their pain points are fixed, they wish they could grow. They wish they could have data-driven decision making. They wish they can enhance their customer experience. They wish they could develop their products in an innovative and better way. They wish they could be more ethical in their leadership and seen as that. And they have these 5 mistakes that they wish they could avoid, which is rushing AI adoption, ignoring ethical implications, neglecting employee training, underestimating security risk, overlooking customer concerns. So you see that how long did that take us? It actually took me longer to read it than for it to take this line and my prompt and give me something so specific. But again, if this was, let's do this, right? Let me run this. At the start, I'm gonna wind this up soon because so let me disable customization, okay, and go. I want a new chat and run the same prompt again. It'd be interesting to see. So it hasn't told me I'm Ronsley. It doesn't know that. And I bet it wouldn't be as specific, and it won't be as specific as the one that was there previously. You see how, it's very generic in the way it's giving me responses as opposed to the previous one. So customize your ChatGPT. I hope you find that useful, by the way. Again, we've gone to 32 minutes, and I wanted to cover a whole bunch of different things. But if you're here, obviously, good to have you here. I know a bunch of you are live, but I'm going to do these. And if you have any questions about using AI, please send me a DM because I'm here to help. And I want to mainly also see how people are using it and how you're using it in your business. Plan is to go live again tomorrow, but these scared the big G's out of me. So hopefully I'll be here tomorrow. Otherwise, love what you do what you love. Talk soon.